Okay, we're back at it. I promised you guys that I was going to be working more, and guess what? I'm doing it. So, trending Genesis. This is something that I want to look at. Um, Genesis filed for bankruptcy. They hold ETH and BNB. It says BNB is nuking. Kind of curious. Yeah. Um, Let me clear all the stink off this chart. Doesn't look particularly bullish on the daily, to be honest. It's just another high in the range. I was, I don't know, maybe I see lower prices now. So this is what Genesis holds. Nobody knows what it means exactly for Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. My God. Um, yeah, there might be nuking coming. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, my when I have this bullish thesis, I said, hey, um, pay attention to if there's more insolvencies that could actually take us to new lows, possibly. Gemini is owed $1 billion. Bybit is owed $150 million. Babel, 150 million. These are big sums of money, so there's more contagion. It's not necessarily over. So Ben Zhu is the CEO of Bybit, saying that it probably doesn't mean anything, but still. Um, okay. Let's look at HY Block Capital. The liquidity on the 6 months is calling for this hot spot at 23,000. On the year is calling for higher. But if we look at the 3 months, we're starting to see some liquidity generating. I think like ranging for a while could make sense. Um, and there's some juice down below. So, I mean, it's possible, like, if this pump didn't retrace, it would be the first one, right? And it might be too early. Dog's barking. Nolani, come here, dog. No, come here. Come here. Leave it. Now, if we look at the shorter time frame, Nolani, leave it. Leave it. Come here, dog. Come here, dog. Come here, dog. We have a clean range. We took the highs, we took the lows. We're trading inside it. Maybe I'm making a mistake, but I'm trying an inside trade on my um I'm just paper trading right now. So let's look at where we are. So there was a lot of trades that could have happened in this range. I mean, dog. Yeah, I mean it's giving me nuke vibes. No, Nolani, leave it. getting nuke vibes. Not just from, like, more from ETH even, because ETH has failed to take this so far. But yeah, I mean, it would make a nice target to come back up here later. Let's throw on our indicators. Um, there's a lot. There's a lot of people who went long in here and are fucking celebrating. Could you imagine the pandemonium if price came back down here? We had that before in 2 days. That was the FTX, I guess. But yeah, the Genesis thing is not great. Now, I didn't trade it, but my daily exhaustion system could have gotten into shorts on both Bitcoin and ETH that I would be sitting in comfortably. I tried to poke the gap long, it didn't fill. I had a short from a little bit higher. We took this high, and that was it. But, from where my stop is, like, oh, my replay button's not working. Sometimes it does that, I don't know why. And then it just comes back. Mm, I think I still like it. It's something I'll reevaluate later. I've got a short up higher, I've got a long down lower. There's not enough liquidity built up for a breakout yet. For breakout trades on ETH, I think there might be. I have a breakout trade on ETH. I'm just drawing these lines, but it, typically you range for a long time and then you break out. So ETH, I would be interested in a breakout long because if we break out, the likelihood of taking these highs is extremely likely. Um, Everything smells bearish though. Like we had a nice rally. There's counter moves to this thing. Yeah, a lot of liquidity, a lot of liquidations happened. I wasn't interested in shorting here because ETH to me is there's more liquidity above than Bitcoin. Longing here would have been reasonable. I think I'm just going to go in to do some more back testing. Now, if we look at the daily on the indices, it doesn't really look bullish, does it? We, yeah, we put in a higher high. We're just chopping, really. Anything could happen. DXY has been grinding down for a long time now. We're back to where we were in June. Yeah, we rallied, and then bleed. A trendline strategy would have worked great for the dollar, just long above the trend line. Once we start to lose this trend line, maybe sell, go short here. That would have worked great. Yeah, I'm getting into trend line breakouts. I like the diagonals. Oops. But it's better when they're coincident with a lot of horizontals too. So for instance, no. Right here, if we lose this trend line, we're likely to just burst through this and possibly this. That's exactly what happened. 2 days. Okay. Um, okay, why don't I scalp? Okay, let's do some back testing. It's 9 o'clock. I'm gonna do 30 minutes of back testing. We're gonna do ETH. Yeah, I get nuke vibes, really. I think getting in, it would be nice to be in those shorts. I don't really care though. I'm not even trading with the live funds anymore. It's just such a bad, horrible month that I just need to stop everything I'm doing. I made 32,000 in 4 months, not too bad, but yeah, I was up 60, 70. Just let me quit while I'm ahead and get back to work. Wow, this ETH bottom lasted so long. Okay, let's just jump in. I don't think I ever traded this. So you're flat here, what do you do? Well, we are in a downtrend. There's insane amount of liquidity below and above. So there's got to be a lot of opportunity here. Where do we think we're headed if we go lower? The 143 area and the 100 to 110 area would be, if I had to put my money, it would be on 110. And then a rally to 253. But yeah, I mean, we go to 100 and then we go to 500 also. Like, there's things that could happen. So let's zoom in a little bit more and try to figure out what do we want to do here. Let's go into the 4 hour. So shorting up here is interesting. Longing down here is interesting. So many days of this ladder is so long. Like, this is crazy. How there's a couple gaps, but it's just been steady down. So um, it's a very, I'm looking at this and this is kind of unique and I'm trying to figure out what to do. Sometimes the best thing is to do nothing, but um, oops, I keep turning on my oven. Okay, a breakout long is interesting, and a breakdown short is interesting. We need some volatility to come in and clear out some space for some tighter trades, I think. We're now in the 1 hour. I could also try, yeah, let me try just trend following here. So let's say if we take these highs, we're going to go long towards here. If we take, if we start to take the lows here, we will aim for this next leg down. The older the level, the better for these. Okay, and then along from this level, I'm interested in shorting in here. So this has been working. Let's push play, see what happens. Okay, I got filled on a short. I can stop to break even, possibly, or just let it happen. Thinking about how to do a breakout, something like this. Okay, now we're long. The next possible short might be up there. Okay. Well, that worked. That was a -1, but yeah, I mean, I guess there's a couple other breakout trades we could take in there too. Now I'm looking for signs of weakness to just close. Why not just close this? I could take a -1. So I like the idea of trading reversals and continuations at the same time, because one of them is likely to work if I pick the right spot. Okay. Why does it do that? Um, Now, this is tricky because we're seeing signs of weakness, but there's still liquidity overhead. So in the daily, it's kind of already happened, but our daily limit strategy is calling for us to do this. So let's try it. Something like this. Will this work? I don't know, maybe. It would be a 13R, so it's worth trying, I suppose. Nope, stopped out. Back to the daily. Kind of interested in some, if possible, some retracement shorts here. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're starting to maybe break down. I would like to trade when this happens. And inside a ladder here. There's this small gap here, so we can use that. And we can trade inside of this one. Say that should maybe be respected. It is. Let's reevaluate here. It could be we're putting in a higher high now and I need to pay attention to here. So we had one breakout trade that worked. Possible. We come back up here that it would make sense to move towards this area. Something like this. Let's see. Okay, this thing though is running at, honestly, the inside retracements have the highest RR, the inside ladders. Like, where are we aiming for, right? We're aiming for down here. Now, what happened to that breakout short? Wasn't there a breakout short? This is running at 33R. Mm, I think it'd be fine to try, like, I know it kind of works, but breakout short. I think just closing here and sort of regathering is fine, which is a 27R. This actually didn't work. Much. Trigger, stop out, continuation. So in order for this to have worked, let's back up. I either need a wider stop, I need to enter earlier, or I need to enter later. I think what's better is to enter up here on the actual break of the trend line. How does that work? That does work. It's a little bit of a wider stop. And we do hit our target here. If we see displacement, we could look for, by the way, these breakout trades, I'm really happy with them. Just gonna let it play for a bit. Okay, we took out that. Now I'm maybe interested in a long, although I don't know what a good target is. Just because we took this and then we displaced, and we have this. There's not that much liquidity built up, but trying to trade an inside ladder here, long seems reasonable. I would have a more narrow stop and then aiming for, I don't know, there's not a lot of liquidity. Maybe it doesn't make sense to even do this. Probably doesn't. Hold up, we didn't get filled. I need to remember, for ETH especially, enter towards the back or the middle of these gaps. Okay, well that worked great. I don't think there's a reason to do a breakout long here. There's not enough liquidity. And I think it would have been reasonable to just close up here at 2.75 because, well, let's see. And let's back up here. Because here we have a possible breakout. Now, after taking that and then having 1, 2, 3 daily highs, and then 4 daily highs, going long just above here. Um, Up into here. Might work out. It does. That's a 2.5. That's a 4 something up into there. I don't care for fibs or Elliott waves or whatever, but I think we could maybe, yeah, we'll see. Um, Now it could have made sense to Short inside right there. Okay, we're starting to have some downside liquidity build up. So I kind of like the idea of a breakdown short, aiming for this next leg down. Maybe something like this. I'm maybe less interested in a breakout just because I don't think the target is as good. I'm more interested in, I think I missed a, I want to go short in this gap, right? Also, I might have missed a daily exhaustion short. Right, okay, we're supposed to maybe short over this one, but I think we go up a lot higher. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Well, I can see that some of these, my biases maybe not right. Some of these longs will, I mean, that works for now. I'm just aiming down here as only a 2R though, which I believe we do get. Do we? I want to be below this fair value gap. It makes sense to be more down here for this breakdown. So I trigger and I don't get filled because that fair value gap is supposed to be a bounce. Now, let's back up here. At this point, there's another breakout long, which is interesting. Just above that gap. With the stop. Towards at least new highs. Is there some target we're reaching for? Maybe we could aim up there if we're ambitious. Okay, if that works. Retrace. And there could have been another one here. Saying like, because we have an old level where a break of this maybe aiming up here. And it works. Now, we have our daily exhaustion short, and it kind of makes sense to try shorting up in here anyways. Have a couple breakout longs running, which may or may not get there. Okay. We need to back up here. So this gets filled. Aiming all the way up there is probably greedy. Like we should aim into this 1 hour fair value gap, which we know ends up working, which is a +4 and a +6. And always remember to enter not on the far edge of the fair value gap for ETH. Actually, at front run it. Let's back up. So here's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, like this, 3.1%, something like this, and then 2.5%. Okay, this is my daily exhaustion trade. We fill and we nuke these, we get out of them. It's important to have that TP or this just turns into a loss real quick. Okay, now this entered and I'm interested in another breakdown short, and I'm also interested in, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm interested in shorts here. Short in this gap, inside this high, inside ladder, something like that. Aiming for this area on the chart. Now, also interested in, I'm more interested in a breakdown of this level, but I think we could try this too. The problem is there's so many gaps in here. So we would do both of these at the same time, where I have shorts lower, and then I'm also going to try to long in this gap in here at the same time. So let's see what happens. And that is a loss right there. This one is just a quick loss. Let's see, maybe it was just not that smart. Okay, we poked the gap, and that was it. Is that it? Okay, let's back up. Do we need to just poke the gap here? It's untested. Typically, a poke of it is all you need. Again, I didn't poke it, so not getting filled there is fine. Um, okay, I'm interested in a breakdown short when we get to this level here and take all this liquidity here. Something like this. Something I appreciate about these breakdown trades is how fast they happen when they happen. Okay, so I'm long. And we'll try longing towards a higher high up here. I'm still interested in shorting in this area. Oh, didn't go. Breakout trade not yet triggered. Let's see what happens with it. Just more liquidity built up increases my confidence in taking this. And the area of the chart is still fine. What's going on here? Still interested, I guess, as price compresses, we could also take a long with the break up, aiming for this area. Something like this, and a short with a breakdown. Whichever way it moves, we go. Okay, it wants to go down, and that works. Until it doesn't. So if I'm there and I'm watching, I can set to break even. What the fuck? Well, this breakout long is now doing something. Stop with that to break even. Well, it's important to not have too greedy TPs, I guess, because we didn't get that one. We came up here. So remember this short. It could have worked something like this. And that would have TP'd. No, it wouldn't have. 6R. Need to be more. Okay. Then we have the short here. Yeah, I mean, we could try a long here. I'm still interested in a breakdown of these levels. I just want to be under the gaps. We can do something like this. I want to be under this gap when I short. If we give up the gap, then we can take it. Breakout long higher also. Okay, at this point, I feel like there's just too much liquidity probably, and I'm interested in a short like this, but I'm also interested in a short like this, and I'm also interested in a long. Right above here. I'm just kind of eyeballing up here. Let's see what happens. Okay. We are stopped out. Go long. And I'm interested in trying again. I still like my short in here. I'm interested in trying again. The price trends is probably going to move. It only makes sense to, okay. Have we been stopped out of our short? No, we have not. We entered right here. Not yet. Now we are stopped out of both. Okay, that didn't work. I'm gonna try long again. I guess maybe I entered in the wrong place. But I had this one, and this one worked. Although we didn't really, I'd probably just need to use closer targets on a lot of these. Or no, I mean, maybe we get there eventually, but um, here we had such an aggressive move that longing inside of here seems great. And I'm also interested in another breakout long, and then I'm also interested in maybe a short, something like this, a short up here. But let's throw in a breakout long. I never traded a breakout trade before, actually, but it feels pretty good to me. I like the idea. Okay, we're long on a breakout. We didn't get filled. Note that this was a poke the gap. I think with ETH, we just need to trade poke the gaps. Something like this. Would have filled. Long is filled. Stopped out. We had another poke the gap long. Yeah, the retracements often don't work. Or or I mean, at a certain point, we could have put our stop to break even too. Because, yeah, after it took these highs and reversed, break even probably would have been reasonable. Okay, where are we aiming? Up in these regions. Or poke the gap, okay. Quick stop out. That didn't work. How relentless do we want to be? Maybe my mistake is like, I need to do a breakout of these levels. And that would save me from, okay, some of these. Like, I want to see older levels go. This one, though, because of this gap here, that's still a possible long area. But, okay, or short on a breakdown. but we did bounce in a level that made sense to bounce at. And I'm still quite interested in one of these breakout longs, but maybe one of these levels. Okay, that's good for the short. And we didn't quite hit target, but if it reverses, it probably makes sense to close here. And then now I'm interested in longs. Once again, an inside long we can try. Try an inside long. Something like this. And we are targeting above all this liquidity up here. Let's see, are we gonna get our fill? This price gonna move up. It's moving up. We didn't get a retracement. There we go. Okay, we got filled. Maybe we just go lower. I would be interested in a breakout into here. Once we hit this first run, we should just fly. Have a long. Still in this trade. And we could do, let me back up. Maybe should do like, poke the gap has worked twice now. So 3 times. So we're just short a poke of the big gap. Which got us filled once. And then we can just keep doing this maybe. Just take a 5R, 4R, yeah. Poke the gap. So what I'm trying to do is like trade much higher volume. Like I want to take a lot of trades. Okay, there's another short. Yeah, longing, we poke this gap here. We ate that gap, so my stop allowed for that, but that could have been another long entry. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Okay, this one was a stop out. So now, locally, we're compressed. And I guess what I'm seeing that makes sense to do here is trade a breakout on either side towards a new low. And long up here, maybe. Long would be towards highs. And my stop, let's use a slightly wider stop. Something like this. Okay, we're short. We're long. Lost on the long. Lost on the short. But okay, we're hitting this breakout one too. And this one, we could still be in this one too. The breakout fails. Or at least it's an L for us. Once we kind of chop in here and we don't just expand through, it makes sense to just close this thing, which is like a 5R. And then I think same for this one. It's like, can close that. This is a loss. But now we're looking at breakdown shorts. It's just too congested to want to short here. Like I would short up in here. I guess longing in here is we could do a breakdown long, a breakdown short, and a pivot short, or reversal long and pivot short at the same time. Targeting down here. This. Maybe we go higher. I think trying to long in here could be reasonable as well. Something like this. We get up there. Okay, that worked. Now I mentioned I was interested in shorting in this area. Now that we're in this area, let's take a look. So my short maybe look something like this. But since we kind of wicked, kind of like trying that, but also just trying something like this too. Aiming for lower. The breakout worked. We got a fill. We took all this liquidity. Trading an inside short right here would have, after taking all that, I kind of like it as an add-on, just to increase the position size. Although I probably wouldn't want to add more than this. Because this position is quite large and we get stopped out of both. And yeah, we just continue higher. Holding that could have been good. Let's back up here. Well, I guess taking these highs though, there's another possible short area of something like this. I don't like breaking out into fair value gaps, but I mean, continuation short maybe makes sense. Okay, so that one works. And then shorting in here. Um, okay. Shorting in here with a second tap of this gap makes sense. Go down, down we go. I'm gonna take a break for the night. But look at this rally actually continues up higher and higher. And how do we get in that? More breakout longs. Where do we end? Wow. Nice rally. All the way up into this area. We take these highs. Classic ETH, and then it just takes it and reverses. It doesn't even touch that gap. And then we go all the way down here. Okay, now one thing I want to do is I want to look at this area that I traded. Count the number of trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6, 7, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. 38 trades in from September to January, September, October, November, December, January, September, October, November, December. 4 months, 30, 40 trades in 4 months, 10 trades a month. Okay, well, with Bitcoin, I think this is kind of what I can expect is like, yeah, more trades, 20 trades. There's probably a lot of possible trades I missed as well because I traded a lot more breakouts in here, and there was probably some inside trades I could have taken too. But that's what I'm going for is just more trades. Okay, let's see where we are here. I'm gonna keep my short for now. I think it's still valid, and we will watch if this liquidity builds. And I'll probably pull this tomorrow if it still exists. Okay, much love and happy trading. Peace.